Sleeping Dogs is an open-world third-person action game developed by United Front Games and published by Square Enix. I first played Sleeping Dogs in 2014. Apart from GTA, it's one of my favorite action-adventure open-world crime game. Set in modern-day Hong Kong, the game's unique art style seamlessly blends the East with the West. The game's designers performed extensive research in Hong Kong to create an accurate view of the city. They traveled to iconic places in Hong Kong, took numerous photos, recorded ambient noises around the busy city, and interviewed ex-triad members and retired members of the Hong Kong Police Anti-Triad Unit, which inspired the narratives and character design. Wei Shen, the protagonist of Sleeping Dogs, is a Chinese-American undercover SDU officer in Hong Kong Police. Like Wei, I was also born in Hong Kong. The nostalgic setting is even more special to me. Sleeping Dogs gameplay focuses on Wei Shen's martial arts moves, fighting skills, shooting, and parkour abilities, and making use of nearby environment objects for the brutal knockout of the enemy triad. The story begins as Wei Shen, a petty criminal, was arrested in Aberdeen, Hong Kong, after a drug deal goes wrong. In prison, Shen meets an old friend, Jackie Ma. He offers to introduce Shen to the members of a gang once they are released. Wei later meets with his superiors, Superintendent Thomas Pendrew and his handler Raymond Mack, in the interrogation room. Under orders from Pendrew, Shen's assignment was to go undercover into the Sun On Yi triad and bring down the leader, the Dragon Head, and the lieutenant, the Red Poles, while reporting directly to his handler Raymond. Without talking too much about the story, in this video I will discuss what I think are Wei Shen's top 5 rules for life. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and press that like button if you wish to see more practical life lessons from video games. Rule number 1. Be adaptable and have courage to be disliked.
You're a cop. I'm an undercover cop. The rules are different. And you're fucking concerned about me?
You are an officer of the law, Wei, same as me.
We are not the same. You understand?
Sleeping Dogs' main storyline features 2 subplots. Shen's balance between completing his police mission while committing crimes to prove himself to the triads, and missions assigned by a triad lieutenant. As an undercover cop, Wei plays a different game in the criminal underworld. He's neither black or white, good or bad. The secret to his success as an undercover cop is not giving a F. Adapt to situations quickly and to have the courage to be disliked by both sides. To survive and gain trust and respect in the Sun On Yi triad, he has to show his true color by not just following orders from his superiors, but outwardly showing his rebellious and defiant attitude.
You don't have a choice, all right? It's a direct order.
Yeah? Direct order? Well, that's an order you can shove directly up your ass, Raymond.
Wei respects Chinese tradition, but is not chained by the past. He's not afraid to think outside the box and keep adapting to change. He has the courage to always assert himself, both verbally and physically. He is extremely secure and confident with himself. Don't give a shit about what others think of him. Being raised in both Hong Kong and America has given Shen an edge of cultural awareness. He is able to interact with and infiltrate Asian gangs with excellent natural ability. Because Wei moved to the United States at a young age and never had a strong father figure, he is highly independent and more capable to adapt and influence others around him. He's like an ever-changing chameleon that served him well when infiltrating a criminal organization. None of us faces the extreme high risk and psychological stress that Wei faced as an undercover cop. Split between 2 opposite but equally dangerous identities, he is always present and alert, aware of any dangers. Showing fear and hesitancy would lead to suspicions and deadly mistakes that would get him tortured and end up in a body bag deep under the Victoria Harbour. As life is also like a battlefield, it is wise to develop Wei's courage and adaptability to our everyday life. We humans are creatures of habit and tend to settle for comfort and fear change. Sometimes we conform to others to try to please them or get others to like us. But living in fear and submission won't gain us any respect. We must have the courage to lead in different situations and overcome what we are afraid of doing. Just focusing on our strengths and doing what we are already good at won't be enough to live our highest potential. When we have the courage to chase our dreams, inevitably, we will come across enemies that try to stop us. But this is a good thing. Having enemies mean we are important enough to be targeted and give us a chance to increase our determination even more. I have made the mistake of being too agreeable in life, resulting in a lack of clarity and fake sense of purpose. But I can decide to change now. It's time to prove them wrong. Get stronger by overcoming what you fear. Like Wei, by having courageous authenticity, we can attract the right support and become more influential in whatever gang we belong. Rule number 2. Take initiative and be ambitious. Wei Shen was born in Hong Kong. His father abandoned his family when he was a kid. Wei had an older sister named Mimi. They grew up in old prosperity with his best friend Jackie Ma, Winston Chu, and Sam Dog Eyes Lin, who was Mimi's boyfriend. As Dog Eyes' girlfriend, Mimi became addicted to drugs and turned to prostitution. Wei moved to San Francisco from Hong Kong at age of 10 with his mother and sister in an attempt to help Mimi overcome her drug addiction. He applied to SFPD in 2006 and graduated at the top of the 2007 Police Academy class. Wei was reprimanded for violent behaviors and fighting, but due to his intelligence, combat skill, and a natural aptitude for police work, he was still thought of highly by his superiors. Shen demonstrated a familiarity with the Asian gang structure and culture in San Francisco and a deep understanding of the way these criminal organizations operate. Due to the department's lack of qualified Asian American candidates and a demand for Cantonese-speaking officers, he was recommended to be assigned immediately to the plainclothes anti-gang task force. Eventually, Shen's sister died from a drug overdose, and later, their mother committed suicide. However, Wei chose not to let this traumatic experience stop him from moving up the police ranks. He understood the past cannot be changed, and the important thing is not what he was born with, but what use he makes of that equipment. He turned his traumatic experience to his advantage. His anger and hatred against vice and criminals that caused the death of his sister became his fuel and ambition to succeed in his career as an undercover officer. Back in Hong Kong for his infiltration mission, Wei showed his impatience to prove his worth to the Sun On Yi. He's determined to move up the hierarchy as quickly as possible. He takes massive action and is always ready to show initiative.
It's time to take a little initiative. We gotta prove ourselves to Winston and the Sun On Yi or we'll never move up. Is there anything going down in the next few days?
Even we are not gang members in the real world, the truth is that we all live in a hierarchical society. In government world or private sectors, leaders higher in the hierarchy have more money, power, and status.
Hierarchy is the only thing anyone cares about. Always have, always will.
People have the universal desire for the pursuit of superiority. It is healthy to be ambitious through striving and taking initiative to grow. We can't help but compare with others who have more money, status, and achievements. But this only creates competition and power struggles. The worst enemy is yourself, so only compete with your ideal self and avoid having rivals and never-ending dogfights. Life is not a competition. The pursuit of superiority is the mindset of taking a single step forward on our own feet, not the mindset of competition that aims to be more ruthless than other people. Those who boast about things out loud actually have no confidence in themselves. The one who boasts does so only out of a feeling of insecurity. That's why Wei speaks only with his bold action. He holds high moral values and is not easily corrupted by the temptation of money and status that the tribe brings. His ambition is to serve at a higher level in the public service, but not pursuing the material things. Rule number 3. Fight with necessity. The most important rule that makes Wei Shen one of the highest performing undercovers is fighting with necessity. He didn't choose this lonely and high-risk job because he's interested or passionate about police work. It was his destiny. He had no other choice other than to keep fighting in the game. His strong sense of duty to root out the dragon has enabled him to do whatever it takes.
Fucking handle it, Raymond. Well, how'd you think this was gonna go down? Huh? Whatever it takes, you remember that?
There's a sense of urgency in every mission he was involved. He's getting obsessed and attached to the Sun On Yi because he devoted himself fully to the cause, to the level that his handler, Raymond, would express increasing skepticism of Wei's loyalty to the HKPD and his objectivity. His necessity to be courageous. He can't afford to hesitate, and one mistake that reveals his betrayal would mean a very painful and slow death. Wei was eventually told by Pendrew that his undercover duties are over, but he refuses to stop fighting because he believes if Li becomes the Dragonhead, the Sun On Yi will be worse than it was under Uncle Po. Furious at Wei's insubordination, Pandrew leaks information about his undercover operations to Lee, who orders Jackie's kidnapping in order to lure out Wei.
No matter what happens, Jackie, I won't leave you behind. I'll always come back to you.
Hey, thanks, Wei. Wouldn't be here without you, man. No way. I'll always appreciate it.
Wei came back to save Jackie with all his strengths. Unfortunately, Jackie is once again kidnapped and slaughtered by Lee's assassin, Mr. Tong. Captured and tortured, Wei manages to escape and sets out to assassinate Lee, defeating his men. After a long chase, Wei corners Lee and kills him by shoving him headfirst into an ice chip, grinding the upper half of his body into pieces. Sometimes in life, we don't quite get what we want, not because we lack motivation, but because we don't have to do it. Like Wei, we need to zero in our identity, obsession, and serve our duty with a sense of urgency. A certain degree of insanity and recklessness is necessary to succeed. When you are passionate about what you do, people get it, but when you're obsessed, they think you are crazy. Wei fights with intense necessity because that's who he is. The safety of Hong Kong people is counting on him. If he gave up on his undercover operation, he will regret forever. So, what's your fight that you can't afford to lose? Put yourself on death ground situations where you have too much at stake to waste time. Take risk and set a hard deadline. Start taking action before you think you're ready. Embracing a risky challenge takes the whole of you. Stop being half-hearted and go all the way. Our body responds to danger with a surge of energy and focused mind. You are compelled to waste no more time. A fighting spirit needs to be on the edge. So keep pushing forward and fight like hell. Let go of comfort and safety net. If you give yourself no option to fail, you won't. Rule number 4. Practice martial arts. The highlight of Sleeping Dogs' addictive gameplay is the combat system. It heavily revolves around hand-to-hand fighting, with fluid controls and movement. Controlling Wei while he delivers his devastating blow to the enemy gangs never gets old, and is endlessly satisfying. The player can use combos, melee weapons, can counter enemies, and use the environment to defeat Wei's enemies. Wei can face up to 5 to 10 people at once during a single hand-to-hand combat encounter. During combat, Wei specializes in mixed martial arts, using real attacks and counter techniques with Kung Fu, Wing Chun, Muay Thai, Taekwondo, and more at his disposal. Wei is a lifelong learner and never stopped practicing martial arts. He keeps bringing jade statues back to Sifu Kwok in exchange for new powerful moves. Countering can only be done if an opponent is about to attacking a player. Pressing the counter button with the exact correct timing will prevent Wei from taking damage and allows the player to strike back with a perfect hit. If hostiles are attacking with a knife held in their hand, Wei can disarm an enemy and take the weapon for his own use. Wei Shen is a very talented and skilled martial artist as he started training at a very young age. His attack and counter moves are executed powerfully yet gracefully. As gamers, getting a chance to play as Shen and controlling his fight combos inspires us to learn martial arts and become a fighter in real life. Unconsciously, we all wish to have that fearless and superior combat skill that Wei had trained years for. I also started learning Wing Chun for a few years. I'm lucky to have Sifu, who truly believes in the art and lives like a warrior philosopher, always generously sharing wisdom and knowledge to disciples. The philosophy of Wing Chun is not to initiate aggression, but to defend effortlessly, utilizing the incoming energy from the opponent. It requires our body to be relaxed and agile. It trains not just the body but the mind. Sifu always reminds us to be absolutely present and focused, completely aware when practicing any moves. The past is an enemy that steals our valuable energy and attention from the present moment. Our mind must be freed from all attachments to experience truth. Martial arts training also raises our energy or chi, a form of life force that we need to actively maintain to help us achieve our life goals. Having superior martial arts skills made Wei unstoppable and accomplished missions with natural confidence. Like Wei, we can all start practicing martial arts to intentionally develop our potential beyond previous limits and to coordinate our minds and bodies to the point that confidence overrides fear. The path of the warrior will bring us closer to self-actualization and give us the opportunity to practice the philosophy and rules for life we learned.
So if your punches are weak, that means they're destined to be weak? Or is it true that through practice and concentration, you can change?
Some problems are harder to solve than a weak punch, Sifu.
Watch my students for a minute. You may change your mind.
Rule number 5. Believe in yourself, not luck or Fengshui. Wei Shen is an immensely confident and charismatic character.
Oh, you are a confident bastard. I like that.
He's fearless and never show any doubt or hesitation.
I'd appreciate if you relay this back to him word for word. Can you do that? You tell Mr. Lee that his people stay the fuck out of our territory, and in return, we'll let him live.
I don't think you'll find that offer to his liking.
I think you'll find that I don't give a fuck!
However, due to prolonged stress of undercover work and Shen's own personal tendencies, Shen was the subject of intense psychological reviewing and internal affairs investigation. He was also viewed as a risk factor and unsuitable for undercover work. Wei is a highly intelligent, self-aware and generally balanced individual. Undercover Shen possesses a strong emotional fortitude against prolonged and extreme periods of stress and exhaustion. He seems to suffer from PTSD and constant nightmares. Wei has a clear understanding of the risk involved in long-term undercover work and is driven by a strong moral system and a sense of loyalty, not only to the police force and duty, but to his friends, some of them are triads, and family. Fengshui is a popular spiritual practice in Hong Kong culture, used to harmonize individuals with their surrounding environment.
Well, the trick to Hong Kong is learning to live by ancient Chinese wisdom.
One of the most culturally interesting missions in Sleeping Dogs involved messing up the feng shui of a superstitious fat gang leader, Tu Chin Chow. Wei sabotages Tu Chin's residence to make it appear to be warning signs from the supernatural, leading him to voluntarily step down from leadership. Wei obviously doesn't believe in bad luck. He only believes in himself and creates his own luck and destiny with no excuses. He takes tremendous risk and bold actions to destroy his fear. Action cures fear. Like Wei, isolate your fear and take massive action to eliminate fear. On the other hand, inaction and overthinking strengthens fear and destroys confidence. Believe and truly believe that you will achieve your dreams. When you believe, your mind finds way to make it happen. The lack of belief in oneself is the greatest sin of all. Like Wei, he has the courage to shove the direct order from his superior up his ass and listen only to his own voice. That's why he consistently gets things done, even when both sides are against him. So next time, when you catch yourself in petty worries, ask yourself, would Wei or any person you admire worry about this? Chances are they don't care. Don't dare to play small because you are an inspiring gamer. Don't feel bad because you have high ambition. These dreams are seated in you for a reason, and it's your duty to bring them to life. Don't hold back and stop caring about what others think of you. Wei Shen radiates confidence because he doesn't give an F about negative people and embraces his enemies. He's laser focused on his undercover mission and shows righteousness in his heart. Even he's ruthlessly violent, but deep down, he is a good person.
You're not like the others, Wei. There's something about you.
You better keep a low profile for a while.
Wei is the most decent gangster I know.
Have the courage to express your true self. Give it your best shot to share what you have within, the most authentic voice. In your full expression lies true freedom. Be strong and realize that you have the power to command the feelings and thoughts in your mind that create your circumstances.
It's been a pleasure to work with a student as skilled as you. But I have to say I find myself troubled.
Why, Sifu?
I have given you powerful tools. If they are not used well, surely I bear part of the responsibility.
You're wrong. You're not responsible for me. Each of us eventually answers for our own actions.
And when your journey is over, will you be ready to answer for what you've done? To live with it?
Yes, I will live with it. Because when I'm done, it won't just be me who has to answer.
Be careful, Wei. Those who seek justice are at the greatest risk of losing sight of it.
That's a nice saying, Sifu. But if I let that stop me, there won't be any justice at all.